Okay, we appear to be recording. Hello, everybody. My name is Alan Farner. I am a supplemental instruction leader for Indiana University East, generally trigonometry. If you hear from another university or another class, thanks for coming anyway. Okay, today I'm going to talk about the equation editor, the Pearson MyLab Math equation editor. Did I say? Yep, MyLab Math equation editor. And the reason I'm talking about it is because if you take an exam online and you get online proctoring, it's a decent chance you're going to have to use it because they're not going to let you write on your paper and send it in, or take your iPad, take a photo and stuff and do that. They're not going to let you do that. It's also good to know regardless. 3 things before we get started though. Number 1, make it easy for your instructor to give you full credit. That means 2 things generally. Number 1, be neat. Number 2, follow the rules. And speaking of rules, if you're using the equation editor, excuse me one moment. If you are using the equation editor, it's probably a show work, and there's a good chance your school has rules about how to show work. Indiana University East's math department does. They say given, find, solution, and some other rules like go vertically, no back and forth, but show work the way you're supposed to. And the third thing is there's a decent chance, especially as you get into the more complicated problems, that you will find that your show work has an instructor tip. Pay attention to the instructor tip. I usually give advice to my students that at the end of an exam, I won't talk about the other ones, but one of the things you need to do is have time to go check all of the instructor's tips to make sure you've provided it, because nothing worse, you get to the end, all of the automatically graded things are 100%, and then you lose points when they check your show work because you didn't do what the teacher said to. Okay, ready to jump in? Let's switch over on screen. Again, before we get started. The window, when you open up a show work, you are constrained to the size of the window that it is going to be in. So if you do this, if you say, I'm going to keep it small like this, and you do show work, it's not that you can't work through this, but it's a bit of a pain. So what you want to do is you just want to make sure that at least, is that Alexa? I think I heard Alexa. You want to make it at least, or is that watch? No, it's Siri. Siri's going off here. Let's see if I can get Siri to stop. Okay, I got Siri to stop. You want the window at least vertically full so that when you do show work, you've got a good palette. Understand, we'll talk quickly before the end. You're not constrained to this space. It will put scroll bars as you need them. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So I was going to go left to right, but I'm probably going to bounce around a little bit. So let's say we insert an image. It's pretty easy to insert an image. You hit the button, you go ahead and choose your image, and you do that. Good chance you won't be doing this on an exam, but you might be doing this for homework. Like this is a program, GoodNotes, that I use on my iPad Pro when I took this course that I'm doing the video for, and I had to insert them in the show work, and that's how I did it. One thing that's really important, oh, did you see that? This always happens to me. I forget that I've got a different tool chosen, and I do this. So why don't we talk about this first button here, which is the select. Select allows you to go ahead and select an object on the screen. It doesn't matter what kind of object it is, whether it is this or a text or symbols, you can use that to select it. Sometimes if you put an image in, it might be something like that. Remember the first rule? Make it easy for your instructor to give you full credit. Don't assume that your instructor is going to be able to do this. Grab the edge like I just did, and you'll see this on other things too, that there's an edge down there. Grab it, click on it, hold the clicker down, and then drag it and make sure that it's a reasonable size. Okay, so far so good. Let's continue a little here. What would be good for next? Let's go ahead and say this, the pencil thing. So let's talk about it. Remember the rule again, make it easy for your instructor to give you full credit. If you are lucky, you have a computer that will allow you to use something like this. If you aren't lucky and you decide to use your mouse, or please don't use your finger with your trackpad. Please don't do that because you're probably not going to do it well. If it's your only choice, okay, but please don't do it. But only do it when it makes sense. So there's certain things that it might make sense to quickly use your finger on your trackpad or whatever. But if you can type it out and stuff to make it easy for your teacher to read, do it that way. Don't just do it with this. It is true, if you have a good one like this, maybe you can write neatly and you have a screen that allows you to do that. You can write neatly on it and satisfy everything. But if you don't use messy mice and stuff to make your teacher try to figure out what you're saying. Okay, so if you want to do that, I can use the pencil, and you can see that works out really nicely. Okay, but let's say you're going to use your mouse. Just now I'm using my mouse. You can't tell, so just got to be careful. You can choose your size, and if you want to choose your color, the color is actually over here. And sometimes color is good. Not for text, though. Text will show you. Sometimes if you're trying to make something stand out, and I may show you how that works, color is kind of nice to do. Then you've got your eraser. Just like with this, you can choose size. I usually use the thinnest size. You can choose this. Generally on this, I would use the largest size because I'm trying to get rid of something quickly. And it's not like other programs where if you touch part of a line, it'll get rid of the whole thing. So again, pretty easy. Let's talk about text. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this image. Something else that I should note, we'll hop back and forth a little bit. If you select an item and you hit delete, it will get rid of the item. Notice I can undo, so don't get too worried. Just don't get too far from where you can't figure out where you blew it. If you don't select an item and you hit this, it says, do you want to delete everything? Obviously be really careful, but even if you didn't mean to and you hit that, remember you can undo, and then you can redo. Those type of things. So I want to clear the canvas right now. So remember, I'm going to pretend that we're doing a show work. I could write out, I could go ahead and take my pencil here and I could write out find. But I'm not going to because it's going to use a lot of space. It's not the end of the world, but it's going to use a lot of space and it's not going to be as neat. And if you can type something quickly, you should. So let's go ahead and erase it again. I'm going to change the color back to black for now. I'll show you when I might change it. And when you make your objects, so we're going to do pieces of a thing real quickly. When you make your objects, get them basically where you want them, but don't worry about putting them all in exactly the right place until the end. It'll be faster to do all the moving at once. So basically I need to go ahead and add a given. And then I need a find. Then I need a solution. Now I might move these around a little bit because I need to put the space in the right way. So let's go ahead and let me come back over here quickly. Notice I can change the font. Change text color. I can put stuff in the background. Don't do it. I can make it bold, those type of things. Just, you know what? If you're working on an exam, just get it done. Got to look good. Don't try to make it too fancy. You want to plan your homework as long as it still really does look good, fine. But on an exam, just worry about getting things where they should be. So I'm going to take this given. I'm going to move it over here. I could resize it. I don't need to. Take this find, and I'm going to put it over here. And this solution, I'm going to put it over here. And the given, I don't know if you noticed the problem. It shows it here. It wants me to convert pi over 2 in radians to degrees. So I'm going to say given. And I'm going to go with a I'll go ahead with pi over 2. So now we're going to go into this symbolic editor here. So I'm going to put it here for a second. If I type pi, we'll talk about a couple other shortcuts. I will put a link in the description that the teacher to Trig found. Thank you. To a whole bunch of keyboard shortcuts. I wouldn't worry about memorizing many of them, but PI for pi is a good one. If you hit the slant key under the question mark, notice it turns into a fraction, and then I've got my 2. So we're given pi over 2. I'm going to go ahead and move this over here. Given pi over 2, we want to find, and in this case I can go ahead and put the words in here. So I want to type in here. It's not working because I have select. Come back over here to text. Now I can go in here. Find angle in degrees, right? Another good rule of thumb. Let's get this. Got to do the select again. You'll see me click around too. And you know this might not be no, I won't say it because I don't think I can do this. Let's do this real quick here. Can I make this bold but not everything else? Bold. Yeah, that you know, it might be good to make these bold. Right. Come back over here. I can't get there. Can I get there from here? Here we go. Make that bold too. Don't mess around with it way too much. Okay, come back here to select. So given pi over 2, find angle and degree solution. And if I remember correctly, I can't remember what my image had, but usually you'd have solution. And then you might actually draw a line. You might go like this. Here's my solution underneath here, right? So not a pretty line. That was with a mouse. And so another good rule of thumb is before you do a conversion, you have to use before you use a formula or an identity or something, you've got to actually write it down. And so I'm going to write down to convert radians to degrees. And then I'm going to go ahead and do another one of these. And I'm going to go, it's 180. Now this is interesting. 180. On a Mac, you can just do Alt and you can hit 0 and it's degrees. Okay? Alt 0. I don't know about a Chromebook. I can't find any way. So yes, you can with a keypad. I don't know if it's Alt 248 or something. A keypad, you can do it on a Windows computer and get it up there. But it's just not going to, most laptops don't have keypads, right? So I would say in any other case, understand this is like if you'd just written it out and stuff too. If you hit the caret, and the caret is the little like house top above a 6. If you hit a caret, it does superscript. Do a caret and a little o. Close enough, 180 degrees, right? So then make sure you're outside of that. You can use the arrow keys. Notice that I'm not in it anymore. The blue's not showing. Hit the slant again, now 180 degrees over pi, pi, and notice it's pi. We'll talk about some other symbols. Use that lookup to decide which ones you want. There's some like how you can do alpha and beta and stuff that's worth doing. So we've got to convert. We've got that. Let me go ahead and move this again. I'm going to move some of this. I'll finish moving it afterwards. So now we can go our next thing. So we know that we have pi divided by 2. Hit the arrow to get over here. The star above the 8, shift 8, times 180. And like I said, I'm going to do it the way you might do it. I would do Alt 0 on a Mac. I'm going to pretend I don't have a Mac. So caret, so I get the superscript. And I'm going to go little o, right? And then I get outside of there, hit the slant over pi. And we know that this, get out of there, that is equal to, the pi's are going to wash out, right? So it's going to be 180, again, caret, little o, get out of there, divided by 2, right? And then, which equals, and remember, you're not supposed to go across a whole bunch, right? So you should come down here and do another symbol, which is 90. And then again, caret, little o, 90 degrees. And then your answer is, if you're doing it at IUE, your answer is supposed to have a box and something that says it's the answer. So let's go draw. In this case, it might not be bad to change it to red. Make it easy for the teacher to see it. So yeah, there's her box. And then if you could write answer out well, draw answer out well, fine, but it's probably better just to go ahead, ANS like that. And there you've got it there. Does that make sense? Look good? Some other things, like I said, don't put a background on the font. Things that they actually didn't look cool back when the internet started and I had more hair. They're not cool now either. If you do the symbol thing, let's just talk a bit more about the symbol. Notice you can hit this button. It gives you some immediate symbols, some pretty regular ones. Hit more to get more. I recommend using templates. For instance, the slant's nice, but if you want to make sure you're using a fraction, use the template. Then you know you've got the fraction. So use templates, square root, and stuff like that. There's a bunch of different templates over here. Some symbols are a bit more esoteric than other symbols and what you're going to deal with. But you've got that. There are some, like if you go back slant, SQRT for square root, notice it'll do that. If you go back slant, and you can go look at that shortcuts kind of thing, and write alpha. Look at that, an alpha symbol. I love the alpha symbol. So there are a bunch of those out there like that. I already showed you subscript, superscript. Let's just do another one. E will show up as E. I is another one that's going to automatically show up. A lot of them, if you type like sign and then parentheses, it's going to, oops, let's try again, SI, parentheses X. There are a lot of things that will work kind of automatically out of it. I mentioned superscript, so you have X squared. If you want to do subscript, it's X and then it's the underscore, and then it becomes subscript. So there's some ideas that. We talked about that's how you change the color of the line. That's how you do an image. Background, yes, blank, ruled. Okay, I'm just going to tell you right now, if you want to make it easy for your instructor to give you full credit, do not cause their brain to implode. If you got too much crap on the screen, you could cause an instructor's brain to implode. So it's very unlikely that you'll want to use anything but blank. And please, 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 I will come and break your kneecaps if you use a different color background. Okay. I just did it back there. These are bring something forward, put something back. It's like what you're used to. You select your object. Actually, let's go ahead and select an object. Select your object, and then either bring it to the front or send it to the back, that kind of stuff. That's basically it. I don't know how long I've been going here. It's been a little while. Hopefully I've been recording the whole time. Have you ever done that? Thought you recorded something that's gone. If you have any questions, there's a good chance where you see this, it'll have some way of contacting me. Feel free. I love math. I love helping people. So don't hesitate. Just go ahead and reach out to me. And thank you for watching. Hey, I'm back. I realized checking the video afterwards, I left something out that I told you I would do. So let's go ahead and look at it. I told you you wouldn't be limited by this canvas here. And what I mean is this, is you could try to scrunch everything. You're like, I'm running out of room, so you scrunch everything tight. You don't need to. Because what will happen is as soon as you put something towards the bottom, watch this. See how it now has scroll bars? And you can continue to do that. And let's say we move this even below that. The scroll bars are going to continue. So you won't run out of canvas. Don't scrunch it. Don't waste room, but don't scrunch it. Take the space you need and go ahead and put it in there. Now I'm going to leave again. Bye.